Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be my review on comics that were released on September 29th, 2021. This is my part 2. Let's get into it. First up, we got Legends of the Dark Knight, issue number 5. It's kind of like a side story. I don't know if it fits into any continuity, but it's just a story. Takes place in Gotham City, and it kind of sets the mood, but starts off with Batman kind of in a scenario with a fire that has gone off, and he is in the process of rescuing some kids. He ends up doing so successfully, and after he ends up rescuing the kids, he all finds out that their birthday is on that day, which is the 11th. He does end up going back to the Batcave. They end up, as he's on the way to the Batcave, he does remember something from the accident, and it happens to be something in the fire, and it was like Martian. It was like the number 11 in Martian language. He remembers seeing it somewhere, maybe from the watchtower, so he goes back into the investigation, and as soon as he starts the investigation, he gets a teleportation warning that someone is coming, and not just one, but 2 different entities, and it's a Martian Manhunter and another entity that pops in. Martian Manhunter and Batman, basically fight, and Batman eventually analyzes the creature, and does happen to have like a counter that he can use against him, which Alfred actually uses on him, and then Martian Manhunter like instantly headbutts him and takes him out. There isn't really any explanation on why Martian Manhunter was fighting the guy. It was something that he was doing separately, but now the Martian Manhunter is here incidentally. Batman is able to question him about the alphabet and this and that, and he does state that it is a Martian number, and them kind of leading to the Batman leading, taking that evidence, and with the kids' birthdays, it leads to the evidence that it's the Calendar Man behind it, and they do this whole like mind mold thing, and they go more into Martian Manhunters like basically their lore, and specifically with the calendar, and there was a calendar to exist, and supposedly this was like, he's the Calendar Man is recreating this holiday called the Eternal Flame or something like that. Batman does find out where Calendar Man is, Julius Day, and he does confront him, and they think he has reached him in time. The whole thing with Calendar Man is he has to incite this ritual before the clock strikes midnight, and we do find out that Calendar Man is successful in completing the ritual, and he does summon some kind of demon. It is foretold in the prophecy that basically he gains like these god type of powers like from this Martian demon, and they do show that he's able to like transform, and he he can go big or small, and he's got like lasers and kind of like all the powers that Martian Manhunter exhibits. And then we also see that because it is a Martian led deity or something like that, Batman is well equipped for this fight, warns John to get the heck out of there, and quickly burns the demon out of Calendar Man, and stops the whole ritual kind of thing. There is no like they do find out at the end, even though Batman is able to successfully stop Calendar Man, and they do show him subdued and secured somewhere, saying that Martian Manhunter is going to have to watch over him, and they're going to have to change like security protocols, because they do find out that that he still has those powers, that basically every Martian calendar holiday that presents itself, he will reenact those powers every holiday for another year or something like that. So it's kind of interesting to see if they're going to keep that going forward, where Calendar Man shows up with these powers. Next up from Marvel, we got DarkHawk issue number 2 with the it is the Miles cover. It is an homage cover. If anybody knows the Spider-Man homage cover, the real cover, that please reach out. That's the first comic that I remember reading. I want to say it could be Web or Sensational Spider-Man, or maybe a Spider-Man team up. I don't know. So we do catch up with our main guy, Connor. They do give you a little refresher into him and his new ailment, him suffering from, multiple scoliosis, MS, and, him kind of passing out. He is also kind of shown getting used to some of the powers. A lot of this issue is him and his father kind of dealing with the new struggles that he's going to face with this disease, and them kind of helping each other kind of cope through it and stuff. There is a like kind of touching scene with him and his dad, and Connor just breaking down because it is kind of overbearing type of thing. They do go into this other scene with his it's supposed to be like his best friend. I'm drawing a blank at his name. If I read it while I'm looking at this, I'll let you know. But basically, at first it's kind of like this, hey, you don't want these new shoes kind of thing. And he's like, bro, I got this new disease. I got all these doctor bills, And at first he's kind of like putting them down, and then realizing, oh crud, like, kind of like at first he was putting them down, then he kind of brings it back like, oh crowd, I just realized, yeah, you are sick and all these medical bills. And the guy's name is Derek. But they just kind of go on from there, and Derek tells him that he's actually bought him those shoes, even though they're supposed to be like really expensive or something like that, some new kicks or something like that are really, really expensive. And basically it kind of goes on the next day. They kind of pass one of the moments from the first issue where he appeared as DarkHawk. They kind of do this whole like, why would anybody stay in this town? There's nothing really going on in this town. They do go to the Primo store where they're supposed to be picking up the shoes, and we do see a cool little like scene where they do get to cut in front of Miles, and it looks like Ned. They kind of jump forward, and they have already picked up these shoes, and as they are going home, some guys trick them and end up robbing them of the shoes, and they take off. Derek ends up chasing them after Connor yells after him that it's not that important, and Derek does end up catching him around the corner. They all pull guns on him, and of course DarkHawk is there to save the day, which he quickly starts dismantling the crew in epic and amazing art fashion. He does end up taking down everybody, and kind of at the end, as he does take out the last guy, kind of turns to Derek, and without realizing it, there's a bomb on his shoulder. He is blasted out of the DarkHawk costume. Like, I guess the costume kind of goes away temporarily, and we find out it was Derek that put the bomb on him, and he wants the armor, not realizing that it's his friend Connor. They both realize, both positions, that Derek is kind of a bad guy, and he was in with the thieves all along. It was all set up to get DarkHawk to show up. And now that he's finding out that Connor is DarkHawk, they're kind of at a standstill. They both kind of they still, like, Connor stating that I have to do this, and Derek kind of stating that he wants the armor kind of thing, and he does want to pursue his criminal careers on a better basis, but he does need the armor kind of thing. Eventually they are kind of interrupted by a fan favorite. We see Miles Morales hearing the loud commotion, showing up and kind of splitting the two up, seeing that everybody is safe, not knowing exactly what's going on, but they do, Connor and Derek end up splitting ways at that moment. We do see that Derek goes back to his kind of like bad guy friends, the guys that set up the whole situation after being beat up by DarkHawk, and we see their boss kind of steps in and isn't too happy with Derek, because Derek actually wants to quit now that he found out that Connor is the one that he's got to steal the armor from, and they're not going to let him quit, and they basically shoot him, and it looks like they were about to shoot him again, and they do show a blam, so I don't know if Derek's going to make it out of that situation, but that's where they leave us off. Really good issue, man, and the Miles cameo is kind of nice. Next up, we got Robin number 6 with the Respawn, cardstock cover, and basically it is bing, 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 round 1 of the official, Mortal Kombat tournament, the Lazarus tournament that has been going on, and that's basically what it is. It's non-stop. It's still set up on the 1, 2, 3 kill, but basically they have 1 and 2 to tap out, and if they continue with the 3 after that 3rd death, they don't get to respawn. They do show that some of the like Robin does go after his first opponent being Blue Blue Shrike, but he does state that he will take him out before all the other combatants can take out their opponents, and it is shown in like a 1, 2, 3 panel, but by the end of it he is the first one to take out his opponent and kill him, which they show nicely right here. His next opponent he takes out in an epic fashion. His original introduction with Tengu, he was able to steal his sword from him, and Tengu getting kind of mad that he was able to do that, stating that he would not do that again. He doesn't have to. He kind of uses Tengu's own movements against him, and kind of, just sticks that sword where he thinks it should go. Now that he has killed the first 2 opponents, he kind of gets a break, stating that, I think her name is Mother Soul, stating that he's kind of killing too quickly, that all the other combatants are taking their time. We do see that Flatline has also finished her first 2 combatants and is coming to take a break with Robin. We also find out that she was able to save his manga that we see that Respawn had stolen from him. They do kind of hint that Respawn is his bigger challenge, and Flatline kind of points that out, that especially the way with Respawn killing Ravager to start the whole official tournament off, her being the last one not killed. They do have this moment where they break off and stuff, and it's really kind of like, I want to say it's like more of their romantic endeavor, but it's not set up like that, but it's just them getting closer to each other, especially when they both find out that they both do enjoy mangas, because when she gives it back, she does disclose that she had read it all. Some of the other fighters that are kind of on Robin's side kind of show up after seeing them, kind of hidden under the bleachers. We got Ravager, and like Hawk shows up, and and he kind of gets mad at the other combatants, to saying that he can't really trust anybody. Ravager kind of selling him out. Hawk tried to kill him on the side with his whole League of Assassins type of thing. And they just kind of mention that, look, they know something else, that Mother Soul lady is doing something, and they all feel like something as weird is going on. If the tournament was up and up, they wouldn't be having this friendly conversation. As they are doing this, Respawn does kind of catch on to this, and he interrupts, showing up, trying to figure out what is going on. And he basically just, after hearing what they're all talking about, not really showing any interest, and just kind of, kind of huff and puffing, and walks off like, you're all rejects anyways, and moves on. They do show that the next day that the tournament, starts up, that, Mother Soul activates all these spells and everything needed to start the new day tournaments. They pick all the combatants who are going to fight for that day, and they show you in the panel. And of course, our first tag team with Robin is Robin and Respawn, and Respawn stating that Robin is not going to have such an easy time with him and this and that. Robin talking some big stuff, and instantly Robin getting the upper hand, Respawn getting the upper hand of Robin, grabbing him from the back with his hook and then tossing him around, almost crashing into Mother Soul, and then kind of disappearing for a second there. And we see kind of Respawn trying to figure out, you know, where Robin went to. And really it was just a ploy. He was just using Respawn to grab the book that Mother Spawn has been so, you know, you know, strong-willed on hiding, you know, what the book is and that kind of stuff. So he used that moment to to get closer to, you know, and he does get the book. And basically we see at the very last scene that Respawn is trying to attack him while he's reading the book, but it kind of looks like Robin already has the upper hand on that particular fellow right here. But that is issue number 6, Robin. Excellent story so far. Next up we got Batman and Superman issue number 22, and I will say it is a completely filler issue. I don't know where the story's going, but it didn't mean it was a bad one. The art is excellent, and it does feature somebody we already talked about, but the Calendar Man, Julius Day, and he happens to be one of my like more famous favorite Batman villains. I like him because he's more on the intelligent side. He's crafty. But we are catching up with Julius Day, currently in Arkham, and the events that happened recently with the Joker Day, and they're showing us, you know, what happened to him on A-Day. And of course the A-Day gases are spreading through, you know, Arkham Asylum, and he starts, you know, kind of feeling the effects of those gas, and as soon as he is about to officially die, he is saved by Mr. Mistapixel and brought into the 4th dimension. After explaining that, you know, asking him why he is so attuned on, you know, calendars and why he kills related to calendars, and the Calendar Man stating that, you know, it kind of made sense because all of his they all fit into little squares, and those little squares, no matter what you do, they continue to move on, and the X's get crossed off, kind of thing. And so that's why he kind of, you know, went to the calendar aspect. And he said, and Mr. Pixel explains it, isn't that funny? You know, we have you know, comics like this that, you know, and he shows them that he is in a comic and that the real world around him is stuck in a comic book fashion. He even shows them that there's numbers just like the calendar, showing him that the panels have like the 16 and 17. But he literally kind of breaks the 4th wall and shows him that he can look outside the panels, and it's really this cool, you know, thing where he gives him this hat and he tells him that he can keep these abilities, and he sends him back to Gotham to become this ultimate Calendar Man. And we do see that like instantly Calendar Man does use this you know, new power to mess with some of these Joker goons, and eventually going after Batman himself. He actually finds out that you know, Batman's true identity and Superman's, you know, where you know, basically he gets a whole bunch of hidden, you know, kind of information, and he kind of talks back to Mr. Pixel, you know, kind of gaining this, and Mr. Pixel kind of on board with him taking out Batman and Superman, of course, Superman, but telling him that if he makes it to, like, I think chapter 67 of the book, or panel 67 of the book, that he will get a present. So Calendar Man goes back after Batman and Superman, instantly kind of hopping in on their super lair. He does kind of test it out with some other villains and stuff to make sure before he does that, but he kind of jumps literally from panel to panel into the Watchman Tower where Bruce and Clark are currently talking, or the Justice League, the Hall of Justice, basically. And we see this kind of cool fight where he's literally using these other panels to, like for instance right here, Superman to Superman, you know, using the frostbite. But it's this really cool invention of him kind of, you know, breaking the 4th wall. And we do see that he does make it, it was 77, that he does make it to panel 77, and he gets his present, which is a pen that is able to, you know, kind of erase stuff and draw stuff, as shown here, like he cancels out the Batarang. But Batman does get the better, you know, kind of catches him off guard, and we see that, you know, that he kind of drops the pen, and it ends up cutting off his arm, which he kind of, that was the thing that distracted him. He was looking at this panel over here, seeing that his arm was coming off, kind of thing. with all this happening, and eventually Batman and Superman saving the Calendar Man after he freaks out of cutting off his own arm, they kind of figure out that it is Mitsapixel that is helping him out, and they destroy the hat. Mitsapixel does go back to, talk to the Calendar Man, saying that it was unfortunate that he failed. He does wipe all those memories, so he doesn't have, he doesn't remember Batman and Superman's secret identity or anything like that. And Mitsapixel says that it was a wonderful try and was kind of pleased with the ending of everything, and does give back his arm and fix everything. And they just kind of leave it at Batman and Superman calling these stories small boxes, and that's kind of it. And for now, that's where I'm going to leave this video. Please stay tuned. I have at least maybe 1 or 2 more videos coming in to sum up this whole week of comics. But that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with you in a little bit. All right.